Star Wars 7 by 7 episode 2359. Today we're going to continue our series of looks at the Disney Investor Day presentation that happened last week, and today we're going to talk about the other shoe dropping on the and beyond language that they started throwing into the High Republic announcements, and we'll talk about the Acolyte. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod, and this is Star Wars 7 by 7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy. And thank you so much for joining me for it. So if you're freaking out about the season finale of The Mandalorian, which just debuted today, and you're hoping that you can get a daily dose of Star Wars joy without having it spoiled if you haven't had the chance to check it out yet, well, hey, I got it right here for you. We're going to talk about something that is not Mandalorian related, but don't worry, we'll be talking about The Mandalorian soon enough. Instead, today we're going to talk about that other big initiative that's happening in Star Wars media, the High Republic, which is a multi-platform publishing initiative, and now the and beyonds that they've been sprinkling into their announcements about Star Wars storytelling and beyond. First, it was virtual reality because there's a part of the Tales from the Galaxy's Edge thing on Oculus that touches the High Republic. Now we get the other thing, which is the biggest thing of all so far, a move into live action on Disney Plus with The Acolyte, the Leslye Headland series that is coming to Disney Plus. Before we get to the description of that, though, I want to share with you two audio clips from Kathleen Kennedy at the Disney Investor Day. The first of them has to do with a much bigger idea of Star Wars storytelling, so I'm going to let her share that with you right now.
We have a vast and expansive timeline in the Star Wars mythology, spanning over 25,000 years of history in the galaxy, with each era being a rich resource for storytelling. Now with Disney Plus, we can explore limitless story possibilities like never before and fulfill the promise that there is truly a Star Wars story for everyone.
25,000 years, right? Holy cow. So let's talk about 25,000 years in the galaxy. And it turns out that there have been two interviews here on Star Wars 7 by 7 recently that kind of touch on that whole situation, and they're the interviews with Cole Horton and Dan Zare, two of the co-authors of the Star Wars books. So if you want to dig into some galactic history, that is the book for you. And you can also check out Wikipedia, which is starting to get some of this stuff mixed in with all of its incredible research and documentation that's been done. But when Kathleen Kennedy says 25,000 years in this whole storytelling galaxy, well, here's what Wikipedia says, just breaking it down. They have an ancient beginnings thing for their canon timeline, which starts at 25,000 BBY, before the Battle of Yavin, in which the Galactic Republic is first formed. There's also mention of the Dai Bendu, which is a religious group that would be attributed with the first holocrons, existing as the would-be precursor to the Jedi Order. There's also mention of this: in pursuit of the preservation of peace and justice, an individual who came to be known as the Prime Jedi founded the Jedi Order on Ahch-To. Also, shortly after the founding of the Jedi Order, the world Ilum is discovered by a Jedi scout through Force-assisted hyperspace navigation, and Ilum is where a lot of Jedi got the crystals for their lightsabers, and it's also the planet that eventually the First Order got a hold of and hollowed out to create Starkiller Base. And there's also this bit too. The comet Kinro is predicted to carve its way through the core worlds before it can enter the mid-rim. Members of the Jedi Order come together and will it apart, although several Jedi lose their lives or minds in the process. And apparently that was talked about in the Aftermath novels by Chuck Wendig. So yeah, I didn't remember that one myself. So you think that they're making a big deal about going back in time a couple hundred years for the High Republic? Well, yeah, that's just a drop in the bucket. I mean, we could be talking about like Jedi Mandalorian wars going back 1,000 years. We could be going back 10,000 years. Apparently, they are keeping their options open in that regard. And certainly, the High Republic, it's as disconnected from the rest of Star Wars storytelling as it could possibly be, with the exception of Yoda, right? Yoda is the tenuous link between the eras. And sure, you know, government systems and the geography, the stellar cartography, if you will, right? So yeah, there are little things here and there, but I would say that Yoda and the existence of a Jedi Order at this point are really the only link we have between the era of Star Wars storytelling that we know and the era of Star Wars storytelling that is about to open to us with the High Republic, starting with the novels being released in January. In fact, you may be seeing some non-spoiler reviews filtering out about the first 3 novels in the High Republic series, which would be Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule, the adult novel, and then Into the Dark, which is Claudia Gray's novel, that's a YA novel, and A Test of Courage, which is Justina Ireland's novel, that's a middle grade reader. And I was, thankfully from Del Rey and Disney Lucasfilm Press, they sent me review copies to check out, and I'm not ready to do my non-spoiler reviews yet. I'm still digging in, but we will get there. A long way around to talking about The Acolyte.
Leslye Headland, Emmy-nominated creator of the mind-bending series Russian Doll, is a boldly innovative filmmaker bringing her new Star Wars series to Disney+. The Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take us into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era.
So there is a lot of speculation happening about that, and particularly around the notion of Darth Plagueis. Darth Plagueis, of course, being the master of Darth Sidious, aka Sheev Palpatine, and whether somehow this is going to involve Darth Plagueis either as the titular Acolyte or if it's going to be someone else. But the thing is that it's supposed to be a female-led series. At least that's what all the press and the PR about the announcement initially said. So, if Plagueis factors in, sure, I suppose it's possible because the timeline seems to work for it. There is not an established birth and death for Darth Plagueis in current canon, but in Legends, it's 32 BBY for his death at the hands of Sidious, and that he was born somewhere between, I think it was 147 and 120 BBY, so he is about anywhere from 36 to 27, 63 years older than Darth Sidious. In other words, he certainly could have been alive at 100 BBY, which is right now what we're supposing as the end of the High Republic era. But Darth Plagueis, not a lady. So, yeah, whoever the Acolyte is, we're presuming that the Acolyte is going to be someone who is in touch with dark side powers or, helping them come forth. And we've actually touched upon a female dark side character who could be that far out in the timeline potentially, because we still don't know about Darth Momin and Darth Shaw. Darth Momin was a character introduced in the Star Wars comics, and his master was Darth Shaw, who is a Sith lady. So right now, that to me at least seems like the most logical possibility, although there is one other thing that I would flag just for the heck of it that goes in an entirely different direction. And before I do that, I'm just going to quickly make mention of the Star Wars 7x7 YouTube channel and give you a brief plea, if you will, to help me reach 500 subscribers on the YouTube channel before the end of the year. If you like your daily dose of Star Wars joy via video, then you can check me out at sw7x7.com/YouTube, or just reverse it, youtube.com/sw7x7. You'll still get to the YouTube channel, and I hope that you will consider subscribing if you like getting your Star Wars joy in video form. If you know folks who would prefer to get it in video form, then please do let them know that this podcast exists on YouTube for them and for you as well. And thank you so much for supporting me in my modest push to 500 subscribers by the end of the year. So here is the sort of divergent idea about the Acolyte that I wanted to share with you. And that has to do with Night Sisters. So Night Sisters, I don't know a heck of a lot about the Night Sisters and, need to learn more about them, want to learn more about them. But I know that there is such a character as a Night Sister Acolyte. And that is what gave me the idea of the possibility that we could be talking about, Night Sisters potentially, which would make it female-led. And because of the fact that they have acolytes and because of the fact that they are working with the dark side of the Force, that would open up other opportunities for storytelling possibility there. And, bringing in the Night Sisters to have some sort of connection with the Jedi, making that maybe a first discovery point between them. Yeah, it seems kind of like a fascinating idea to me. So wanted to throw that out there for your consideration. Would love to hear what you think. Chime in wherever there's a comment section that you're catching this episode, or if there isn't, then at homebase at sw7x7.com. And thank you so much. That's going to do it for this episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you as always for joining me for the show, wherever you're joining me for it. And may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2020 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.